felt sentiments, longing, and affection. On the occasion of this awards ceremony, I would like to thank to all my brothers and sisters, and I'm happy to be with my brothers and sisters who have contributed to the dissemination of science with the help of the foundation of Ilim Yayma. Just a short while ago, we presented the Science Awards to the winners, and as known, the fight of our civilization, as said before, started in 1951. With the status of being a foundation, our foundation has a history of almost half a century. It has 78 branch offices, 189 dorms, and 67 centers of communication, and it has a history that will stand exemplary and exemplary for many next generations to come. The main purpose of our community, of our foundation, is to bring up new generations and to strengthen national and spiritual values within. And a number of the services that our people have delivered under this roof are numerous. And I myself, indeed, and in particular, have received many services from Ilim Yayma Foundation, and I have indeed improved myself with it. In the climate of democracy and freedom that the late Menderes ensured, and with the leadership of Ilim Yayma Foundation, the first Imam Hatip school of our country was opened. And one of the founders of our foundation was the late Turgut Özal, I would like to remind. This flag of service carried over generations will continue to fly high after us, hopefully, and I firmly believe. With student dormitories, with education centers, scholarships, awards, with its national and domestic stance, our foundation has a pioneering role among the NGOs of our country. And I am happy, and I am in particular happy because there's no issue of pulling strings or whatsoever. But I'm happy that Professor Zekai Shen has received the great award, the grand award. And when I was serving as the mayor of the Istanbul Greater Municipality, we benefited from the knowledge of Professor Shen very much. And with Mr. Şenoğlu, they have brought the State Hydraulic Works, Istanbul State Hydraulic Works of the municipality to higher grounds with their great scientific contributions. May God bless them both. Merits, embracing loyalty, faithfulness, truthfulness are of the principles that our foundation has its main approach grounded on. Our community and our foundation has strong grounds in this area in terms of, in particular, disseminating science. National, ethical, spiritual, and religious values are protected, further improved, and with a mission of bringing up generations that love their nations and country. I myself will continue to stand with you in your services. From its foundation on, the services of Ilim Yayma community have been contributed by many, and may God bless them all who contributed with their hearts, with their services, time, effort, and money. And I also pray for the mercy of God on the souls of all those who served for the foundation, and I uh, wish the best to those who are still with us. Distinguished brothers and sisters, the first order of our religion is to read. And as the members of such a religion, it's a must for us to put training and education to the core of our lives. In our country, those with knowledge and science do progress and contemplate, and our civilization experienced the brightest of its era when they contemplated. However, when we, in such other following periods, started turning against one another, and instead of contemplating, when we opted for contradictions and contrasting, indeed unrest took over. And then it means that we need to stand united and open the hearts, the geographies of our hearts. And just like the branches of a great plane tree, we have to nourish our roots first and then reach out to all around us in all areas. Just like 2 days ago under this dome, the leaders of Turkey and Africa were here, and we closed officially the Turkey-Africa summit. And we wish that this sort of solidarity and unison and togetherness will stand its ground and stand taller from here again. With persecution, violence, exploitation, and justice, the humanity had to face. And in such an era, when those are on the rise, disseminating science is of greatest responsibility. And we see the manifestations of those that break our hearts. In the eyes of the downtrodden, in the eyes of the oppressed, even the slightest light of hope brightens our days, and on the contrary, the reckless behaviors of the oppressors hurt us deeply.
Bir dairede devredemez çemberi devran, zalim yine bir zulme giriftar olur ahir, elbette olur ev yıkanın hanesi viran. Evet, insanlara zulmedenlerin o çok
Yes, those who oppress other people will have their homes crushed on them one day. And history has witnessed such similar things many times. And the names of such people with no expertise or knowledge or whatsoever are not remembered in our day. And you also know that there have been certain challenges in the globe, in the fields of economy as well. And with the pandemic, such challenges have increased in number. However, this change that takes place in the course and the trajectory of the world should be guided to the favor and geared towards the favor of the oppressed. In our geographies, the doors of Anatolia opened from the south and from the east later on. And we have a very striking history. With the conquest of Istanbul, we opened a new era. And this story, after Yavuz took over the The title of the Caliph has reached to a different dimension. Our presence in Anatolia started with the Crusaders and went all the way down, all the way up to the Dardanelles War, the War of National Independence, and many other predicaments. And despite all challenges and calamities, we achieved. We suffered a lot. We worked a lot. We paid a lot of hefty prices, but thanks be to God, we have never dropped the standard of victory and struggle
ve onlardan bayrağı devralanların yüreklerini yakan ne kadar mesele
down
varsa
to
hepsi de yaşadığımız
the ground, and we, in all our struggles, have experienced many. From the Jerusalem case in July, the conversion of Hagia Sophia Mosque, we can break down many numbers of challenges. The struggle we put up against the enemy was a fight to protect our holy values, our sacred values and items, and our territories. It was a fight for owning up and embracing our own values and traditions. The fight against the coup plotters was a fight made to own up and embrace our own future, our own independence. The fight against imperialism was for justice, for equity, for equality, and keeping them higher, and also protecting the human beings. No matter what our title is, and no matter in what position we are and we were, our only goal was and is that. And tomorrow we will continue marching on the same path. My dear brothers and sisters, the past 19 years of our country has been a symbol of a transition to a new phase. We have not only consolidated democracy and expanded the scope of liberties and freedom, but we also have tackled century-old longings. With every step we took ahead, we addressed in the best way possible the culture we had, and we showed that the people of this country always have the will and ambition to stand for their values and traditions in all areas, such as from education to infrastructure, from health to trade. We have ensured that our people indeed could get what they deserved. And if Turkey has such self-confidence to even push back, drive away crises, it means that we have the will for it. And now we have the same struggle in economy. And indeed, over the past 18 years, in all the attacks we endured, there was issues related with economy. With the Gezi Park protests used as an excuse, there were campaigns, some ran saying that do not stop and make sure the economy collapses. And the gang of traitors, the FETÖ, in all their attempts of coup, they had the heinous plans of bringing our economy to a dilemma. All the plots set against our country over foreign currency and interest rates, remember them. Just because we defended the sensitivities of our country in the field of security, remember the threats some passed around randomly. With our growth figures, production, export, and budget,
bakımından küresel
balance.
çapta bir başarıyı
All
işaret ederken
indicators do
burada yaşanan
indeed
dalgalanmaları da bu
show a global
çerçevede
success, and while this
değerlendirmemiz
is
gerekiyor.
the case, we need
İkinci
to
efendim,
evaluate the
faizleri
fluctuations and the effects
düşürüyoruz.
within this framework as well. Some say now that we are
Benden
decreasing the
bakıyoruz.
interest rates. I do not have any other thing to say against that
Bir
indeed.
Müslüman olarak
As a Muslim person,
naslar neyi gerektiriyorsa onu yapmaya devam ediyoruz.
we will continue
Onu yapmaya
practicing what
Hüküm
all the good deeds demand.
gelişmiş ve
This is
gelişmekte
what the
olan
order is.
ülkelerin
The developing
faiz
and
rakamlarıyla
the developed
enflasyon
countries
rakamları arasındaki fark
also
10
have a
katı
lot of
olmuşken
difference in terms of interest rates
bizim
and
yaptığımız
inflation
sınırlı
rates, and
faiz
even
indirimleri
those
tablonun
maybe in
gerekçesi
some
olan
countries are high as tenfolds, and
Avrupa'ya
what we
bakın.
do cannot be the
Hepsinde
otherwise. Have a
durum
look
bir
at
felaket.
the US and Europe.
Coğrafyamızdaki
In all of
2
them,
asırlık kavganın gerisinde
the
ne
current
varsa
situation is
bütün
like a
gelişmelerin
disaster,
gerisinde de
and just
o var.
like today and in the
Cumhuriyetimizin bir
past,
asra
we
yaklaşan
had the same
tarihindeki
developments.
kalkınma
The
hamlelerimizin
development
önünün kesilmesinin
movements
sebebi
of our
neyse
Republican history
gelişmelerin
were
sebebi de
stopped by
budur.
some, and the
Son
reasons
19
for
yıldır
such
attığımız her
blocking
adımda
are the
önümüze
same
çıkartılan
in our day.
engellerin
In every
arkasındaki
step
sahip
we
neyse
took ahead, there were
bugünlerde
the same
yaşananların sebebi de
motives.
aynıdır. 19 yıl önce göreve
As
geldiğimizde
today. When we took
faiz,
office 19 years
enflasyon
ago, inflation, interest rates, were they not
biz
the same as
aldığımız
today?
kararlarla,
Yes. However,
attığımız
with
adımlarla
with the decisions we
faizi de,
made and with all the
enflasyonu da
steps we took ahead,
yine hatırlayın
we brought down the inflation
6
figures
sıfırı
and as well the
attığımız
interest rate
zaman
figures.
bana
And
karşı
when we
çıkanlar
removed six
Taksim meydanında
zero
alınır
digits
diye
from
köşe
our
yazarları
banknotes,
şimdi yine
there
aynı
were
şeyleri
those
söylüyor.
who opposed me, and there were even some
Anırdılar.
colonists of some
Hayır.
newspapers who said
Ama bunlar
that they
şu anda
would
da hala köşe yazar.
be
Aynı şeyleri bunlar yine yazıyorlar. Anırsalar da anırmasalar da. Elhamdülillah. Biz doğru.
braying like
Çünkü
he-hoing like a donkey at Taksim Square. But have they done so? No. But it doesn't matter if they do or not. The provision that interest rates make the poor poorer and the rich richer is not a random one.
akıl dışı bir saldırıyla karşılaşıyor. Ülkemizin yatırımla, istihdamla,
With
üretimle,
investment, production,
ihracatla büyümesi yerine
export,
sanayisiyle,
and
teknolojisiyle,
employment, our country
finansıyla,
will flourish. But
altyapısıyla
instead of
dışarıya bağımlı
that,
kalmasını
some
isteyenler
want
var
our
müşterileri
country
görüyor.
be dependent on
Kardeşim,
external sources with its
bu kadar
economy,
altyapı,
infrastructure,
üst yapı
and they do
çalışmalarıyla
resist still against
19
such
yıldır
good practices.
bir
My
mücadele
dear
veriyor.
brothers and sisters, our country has been waging a struggle,
Eğitimde,
a war with
sağlıkta,
all these actions,
ulaşımda
all these efforts
attığımız
undertaken
adımları bir yere koymak
right. And
havalimanları
is it possible to
26
put all the actions we undertook in the field of education and all other areas aside and ignore them?
yarım saat
Now we have
mesafede
universities in every
inme
city
imkanı
of the country,
yakalanma
and now we
lüksüne
have
ulaşmış
hospitals
bir Türkiye varken
where
kimse
people
bunları
can
konuşmuyor.
even
Türkiye büyüyor.
present to
Kimse
on
bunları
food
değil.
with a walking distance of maybe 30 minutes only. Turkey is growing, but nobody talks about such growth. Yes, there are challenges. However, do not forget, with God's help and the foresight of our people, we will be emerging victorious from this great challenge we
Daha
endure.
önce vesayetin kirli oyunlarına dün sınırlarımıza
There were
dayanan
some
terör
who
örgütleri
played
üzerinden
to the hands of the
gerçekleştirilmeye
tutelage
çalışılan
makers,
karanlık
and
senaryolara
there
hangi
were
inanç ve
those
iradeyle
who
direnirsek
believed
bugün de
in some dark
ekonomide
scenarios.
aynı
And just
mücadeleyi
like we
veriyoruz.
resisted against such
Fiyat artışlarının
scenarios in the past, we
insanlarımızın
in
günlük
our
hayatları
day again
üzerinde
fight against that. We are, of course, aware of the challenges that our people have to face due to the price increases. And we also are aware of the ambiguity that is caused by the FX rate increases. But when it comes to the global power barons and tutelage supporters and coup makers, just like we resisted against them in the past, we will continue to resist against them in our day. And now I make a call on them very clearly. You, Tusiat, and the babies of Tusiat, you only have a single duty: investment, production, employment, and growth. Just first put forward what you do in those areas and do not look for ways of attacking our government and our state using some different methodologies, because you can not fight against us, and we know very much what your nature is. You have a different concern, however, our concern is totally distinct. We walk with love and for the love of this homeland and the nation. However, you, on the other hand, look for ways to make this government collapse and bring an administration that you desire to the office. However, our nation will not give you such consent. For our lives and at the expense of our lives, we protected the independence and stability and the future of our country in the past, and today again we will do the same. And now, in the face of the coronavirus pandemic, such institutions, to what degree they stood with the nation, and how many hospitals they constructed and helped the state. Even during the most challenging times, we constructed our city hospitals, and we disseminated those all the way down to the most remote corners of Anatolia. However, what did those other people do? Nothing. They are attracted by the maps drawn by the imperialists, and those who are carried away by that will never be allowed, and we will not leave our country to the bullets that are fired from their weapons, and we will not be leaving this country to the hands of the traitors, and to those also we will not let our country be taken away. Carrying our nation to pessimism, manipulating and speculating with some fabricated news. Those people do act, and nobody should care for what they do. And I would like to once again state that the evaluation that our country can need a state of emergency is beyond a confusion and is a big mistake. The policy of economics of our country is indeed coursing in line with the targets we set. And the nonsense such as controlled FX regimes are is also articulated by some. However, we never care about those either. Our country will continue on its path resolutely and in stable way. And the stability in effects will not be achieved with such nonsense, but with its own functioning. In economy, everything flows in its course, just like the rivers do. And this is the course, this is the trajectory we follow. In our great struggle, in our great actions in economy, I would like to make a call to our nation to stand with their government and with their state. There are those who do increase the prices excessively and stockpile and support the coup makers. And from a Friday on, there has been some gossip ongoing. Some say that as of Monday,
ciddi manada finans dünyasında sıkıntılar yaşanacakmış.
there would be significant significant problems in the world of finance, as some say. But only those in treason would speak such words. They're not speaking words about how we can stand tall, but now they are talking all about how our country will manage to stand.
Merak etmeyin.
However, what they do is only talk ill. Have no concern. No such thing is of issue. We are standing our ground, and we are standing tall and sound. When we took office, do not forget
IMF'e olan borcu
we were in debt to IMF by $23 billion.
nereden devraldık?
And you know from whom we took over that.
Merkez Bankası'nın döviz rezervi
The FX reserves of the central bank was $27.5 billion. My dear brothers and sisters, when I served as the prime minister of the country, such a reserve increased to a capacity of $135 billion. We did that. Yes, there was some decrease afterwards. Yes, and I was the president of the country. But now, yet again, and thanks be to God, it has gone up $100 billion, our foreign currency reserves, and we will recover more. This figure will increase even more.
döviz rezervini yükseltmeyecek.
Not George or Hans will come over and increase the amounts in our
Nasıl 27,5 milyar dolardan
foreign currency reserves. Just like we did take over the foreign currency reserves of this country from $27 billion and brought it up to this level. In the past, we will do it in our day and in the future too. And our case is not empty. We have sources available, and bringing the foreign currency rates to stability and also keeping the prices at reasonable levels will be our responsibility. Just like in the past, if we do deliver on what we have to do in our day too, we should have no doubt that the doors of a greater country and a country with higher levels of prosperity will be open for us, and we believe in that, and we make a call on all our nations nations members to own up to this vision, which will be the denominator of our next century. With these thoughts in mind, again, I once again would like to congratulate all the academics to whom were presented Ilim Yayma Awards. I would like to congratulate them personally, and also on behalf of our people. I would like to extend my gratitude to them for all the contributions they have made in disseminating science across geographies. Thank you very much. Stay in health.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanım, lütfederseniz efendim, şimdi İlim Yayma Cemiyeti Başkanı Yusuf Tülün Beyefendinin size bir armağanı olacak, müsaade ederseniz. Efendim, Yusuf Tülün Bey'i sahneye